I did my profile on my dad. My dad was a cop for over 25 years at the Middletown Police Department. My dad made many sacrifices and encountered a lot of danger through his career. After all that, he still took pride in what he did. My dad's career did not start off by being a police officer. He initially entered the military straight out of high school. He then entered the Marine Corps and became a Marine after basic training. He can go on and on about all the things they made him do during basic training. One of my favorite stories is how they used to come in at random moments in the night and bang pots and pans and anything else they could find and wake them all up. Then he had to grab all his gear and go on a 3-mile run in the middle of the night. He was stationed in numerous places in the U.S. during his time in the military. In 1995, he was deployed to Cuba, where he was assigned on the fence line. My dad suffered a back injury while in the Marine Corps, which forced him to be honorably discharged from the Marines. When he returned to the U.S., he started to work at a prison. He was a correction officer at a prison. This job did not fulfill his passion, so he decided to start a second job doing flooring. While being a CO, he started his own business, doing the carpet, tile, and all the other types of flooring. In July of 2000, he was sworn in as a cop at Middletown Police Department. He started the academy in July and graduated in December. He started off by being a patrol officer. He really enjoyed being a patrol officer and being in the streets making a difference. After 6 years of being a patrol officer, he joined the drug task force as an undercover cop. In 2006, he started undercover work for the Dauphin County DA Office Drug Unit. During the start of his undercover work, he was tasked with buying drugs from drug dealers. During this time, he was always put into dangerous situations. He's been shot at, hit by cars, and pretty much everything else you can imagine. My dad has always loved the action. Doing drug work was meant for him in a way. The constant danger and action was something that my dad was always accustomed to. Eventually, he started to work with the DA doing federal drug cases. He started to bust bigger drug operations. However, his department only sanctioned him to be on the task force for 7 years, so in 2013, he came back to do patrol. This is when his career took an unexpected turn. My dad got put back on patrol for Middletown in 2013. When he was put back on patrol in Middletown, this is when he started to notice things weren't right. He recognized federal funding was being unlawfully used, and the department was wiretapping a public phone. Wiretapping a public phone without a warrant is illegal, so he brought both of these concerns to his superior. My dad brought it to the chief and the mayor, but they didn't do anything about it. My dad's not the type of guy who lets things go easily. He decided he wanted to see it through and reported them to the PA State Attorney General. He was interviewed and he wrote a report of all the wrongdoings that were happening in the department. Then in 6 to 8 months, his department made up disciplinary charges and fired him for speaking out against them. He filed a grievance against the department so he could get his job back, which he hired a union lawyer to defend him in court. A union lawyer is a lawyer who only defends cops. They went to court, and within 2 years, he was cleared of all wrongdoings and was fully reinstated with all back pay and benefits. Once he was reinstated, he sued his municipality in court, and at a federal negotiation, he won his lawsuit and received $52,000 extra to getting all his benefits back. In 2017, after being reinstated, he became a sergeant. This was short-lived, however, because a year later in 2018, he became an interim chief. As the interim chief, he changed a lot of things, including the uniform color, vests, and even the guns they bought. My dad was a highly respected chief. In 2021, while my dad was on a foot pursuit, he hopped a fence and broke his ankle. He got up and continued chasing the guy for miles, and he ended up being the one who caught him. He retired after his injury and received a full pension and benefits. My dad loved his career, but through all the long nights and early mornings, he always put our family first. He would come home late at night and put me and my sister back to bed when we were kids. His career was very hard for our family because of all the shift changes and overtimes he had to work. Despite all that, he always showed up for me and my sister. He's a family man above all else. Although he loved the thrill of being an undercover cop and helping people as a patrol cop, he loved his family more than anything else. My dad always taught me very valuable life lessons that he learned from being a cop and also being in the Marines. He instilled lessons that I still hold to this day. In conclusion, my dad left behind a legacy at his department. As the chief, he changed the way the department was run from top to bottom. He was very well liked among his peers, and he always put in the extra work. He went out to many calls, even as the chief, because he loved his community. My dad was always the type of guy to lead by example, and as the chief, he did just that. He won numerous awards throughout his career. He left behind a legacy at his department that can't be erased.